Recording in progress.
Okay, I'll call to order the Committee of the Whole meeting for Tuesday, December 14th, 2021. First item on the agenda tonight is roll call.
Miller,
Here.
Rosado,
Here.
Beck, Connolly,
Here.
Jansen,
Here.
Sofa,
Here.
Wolf,
Here.
Barron, here, Lehman,
Here.
Ayazi,
Here.
Malay, Ewer, Cerrone,
Here.
and Vogelsinger. Here. We have 11 out of 14.
All right. Next up is a reminder to speak directly into the microphone for the recording and broadcast this evening, and also make sure that if you want to be heard, raise your hand. If you are done speaking, pull your hand down, and then also make sure to use the mute when you're not speaking. Item number 3 would be approval of the minutes for October 5th, 2021. Do you have any corrections, notations, anything on it? Not, can I get a motion for approval?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Selfa, second by Miller. Roll call, please.
Sofa,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Barron, aye, Lehman,
Aye.
Ayazi,
Aye.
Malay, Ewer, Cerrone,
Aye.
Vogelsinger,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Rosado,
Aye.
Beck, Connolly,
Aye.
and Jansen.
Aye.
Motion carried 11-0.
Thank you. Do we have any items to be removed, added, or changed tonight?
Not aware of any.
Okay. Do we have anybody either online or in the room for matters from the public for items not on the agenda? I don't see anything. Okay. We'll right on to the consent agenda. One item, item A, approval of the COW executive session minutes for August 17th, 2021 and September 14th, 2021. Any comments on either one of those?
So moved.
Motion by Chanzit,
Second.
second by Solfa. Roll call, please.
Jansen,
Aye.
Sofa,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Barron, aye, Lehman,
Aye.
Ayazi,
Aye.
Malay, Ewer, Cerrone,
Aye.
Vogelsinger, Miller,
Aye.
Rosado,
Aye.
Beck, and Connolly.
Aye.
Motion carried 11-0.
All right, thank you. Up next is item number 7, which is a presentation on the water treatment plant monthly construction update. Welcome.
Good evening. Good to see you again. I think it's been about 6 weeks or so since provided the last update. Okay. Are we all good online? Everybody see that okay?
We can see it.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay. First of all, I'd like to introduce with me tonight, Emily Conti is here. She is the resident engineer on the project, so she is out at the site almost every day. She is our eyes and ears out there, and thought it'd be good to start getting her integrated into these meetings, and she's going to be assisting with some of the updates moving forward. So I just wanted to get her here and have this experience, and I'll still be continuing to come along too, but you're going to be seeing her providing some of the updates moving forward. So a brief reminder of the high-level items that are part of the water treatment plant expansion project or modifications project. There was a brine area addition that is occurring at water treatment plant number 2. That is to improve the process related to the chlorine feed system. So you'll see some definite progress that has occurred there, as well as the underground backwash storage tank that is replacing the existing backwash lagoon associated with water treatment plant number 1. So you'll see if you look at this aerial, which is pre-construction, and the outline of where the backwash tank is to go, you'll see there's definitely been some advancement on that front as well. So moving forward into what has happened since the last update that we provided, water treatment plant number 2 has received its new roof. So that building, the roofing is done. Water treatment plant number 1 is also getting a new roof that has not been completed yet, I believe, right? Correct. See, this is why I bring Emily, so I can look over my shoulder and confirm, when I'm running astray. The new brine building interior is moving along. They've done a lot of the coating systems. It's completely enclosed now from the elements, so they can continue to work through the winter here and get the internal items constructed and get the processes online. The anticipation is that this will be operational within the next 2 to 3 months. The brine building exterior, you can see, is mostly complete, while they wait for the doors to come in and to be able to put those in place. They have temporary arrangements to keep the heat in while they're doing painting and other work inside that building. The backwash storage tank has also, there's been quite a bit of work since our last update. I think with the last update, they had just poured the slab, the bottom slab. Well, they've also constructed the walls and the top slab, in addition to installing the hatches. In fact, this construction is essentially complete. There are some instrumentation items that have yet to be installed, but otherwise it is fully functional and has been functional for a handful of weeks now, and it seems to be operating very well. Online November 18th, as noted there. Well 11 rehab is ongoing. The contractor has noted that the pumping assembly should be arriving here hopefully within the next couple of weeks. Anticipated reinstallation of the equipment in January and starting up anticipated by the end of January. So they will then move on to the next well rehab, which is well number 10. And then subsequently after that is completed, well number 9. So all of the 3 deep wells that are utilized that go into water treatment plant number 1 are rehabbed as part of this project as a reminder. So this is still the first one that is under rehab. Similarly, high service pumps, still waiting for the equipment to arrive back on site, but that is expected within the next week. And it's anticipated early in January at the latest that those first 2 pumps are going to be reinstalled, and then they will move on to the next set of pumps, and that will be duplicated 1 other time because there's a total of 6 pumps that are going to be rehabilitated as part of this project. Dualator rehab. So this is these are essentially the filters in water treatment plant number 1 that help with the removal of radium with the HMO process there. They were installed in the early 90s, never really undergone any significant rehabilitation previously. So they have commenced with the removal of the media and disposal of the media in one of the dualators, the 2 dualators. So they're keeping this facility online using the remaining dualator that is still in operation while they do the rehabilitation to this second dualator. So that media has been removed from the dualator. It's been cleaned out for inspection. That inspection is ongoing, and we're currently determining the level of recoating that is going to have to occur within that dualator, which was expected as part of the bid process. There's also been a very interesting component to this that city staff has really helped out a lot and is anticipated to provide great benefits as the project moves along. So we are reusing some of the original filter media, and we're going to be reinstalling it with new media because there are properties with that existing media that have been accumulating over time that will actually help remove ammonia that's in the raw water, which that ammonia can interfere with the chlorination process. So the anticipation is reseeding the new media with this existing media is going to help proliferate within the new media and provide the properties readily that are going to help remove the ammonia long term. What does that mean? That means less chlorine that has to be fed into the system, so it's lower chemical costs and a much more efficient process. So it's using the existing treatment process and reusing that and putting it back into the existing dualators when we put the new media in there. The city staff has taken some of this media. They had existing tankage that we put it into, and they are watching over it and actually running water through it to give it the source that it needs to continue with the activation and the treatment that it can provide. So it's kind of a little interesting side project that's going on that city staff has really helped facilitate moving forward. It's almost like a little science experiment. So it's when this is all said and done, we're going to continue to monitor this and see how quickly we're able to regain the original treatment that we expect. And there's not much literature on this, so we're kind of blazing a new trail here with, again, the help of city staff. Other miscellaneous site work, there's actually been quite a bit of restoration that has occurred within the last couple of weeks. So they've done, the contractors worked hard in getting a lot of the rough and fine grading done in areas where they've completed work. They've laid down their seating and their blankets to get through the winter here. It's anticipated additional restoration would be occurring, obviously, when springtime comes. But the site where they have done and completed work is in pretty good shape at this point, including the backwash, the new backwash tank, which they have done all of the grading and filled in. So you can see some other photos here around the buildings. So it's starting to look like the finished product from a site perspective. Next steps, again, need to finalize the backwash storage tank with the instrumentation, but otherwise it is fully functional. Set the brine storage tanks. That's the next big step in the brine building addition, to be able to utilize those for the chlorination process, and then demolish the existing brine storage tanks and install new chemical feed pumps. Ongoing brine building modifications, so getting that building ready to go so it's fully functional for operations. Continue the rehab for dualator number 2. We anticipate that's going to be going on for another month or two, at which time they will switch over to the other dualator, and the plan is to have both dualators complete by springtime when the water demand picks back up again, and both dualators will be needed to meet the demands of the system. And then the ongoing well 11 and high service pump equipment install. Anticipation is within the next month. Well 11 will be, the equipment will be reinstalled, as well as 2 of the high service pumps, and we'll be moving on to the next set of modifications there. So here's more of the layout in a broad schedule version. We expect the water plant number 2 expansion with the brine area to be going on through probably March. And then the backwash storage tank, again, is nearly complete. Well rehabilitations, well 11 into January, and then wells 10 and number 9 are going to be going into the summer. Dualator rehabs, dualator number 2 into February, and then dualator number 1 anticipate into April. High service pump rehabs are going to be going on at least into midsummer, and then the chemical feed pumps installation should begin within the next month or two, as soon as the existing brine tanks can be removed. With that, I will take any questions or comments that anybody has.
Does anybody have any questions or comments? I have one. Do we think we're going to be on schedule? Are we having any issues with parts availability, deliveries on any of the hard parts, the pumps, the plumbing, any of that stuff?
So the only concern I currently have is with the well rehabilitations.
Okay.
That well 11 being the first of the 3 well rehabs, getting the new pumping assembly has taken quite a long time. So that's, of course, then pushing the other 2 well rehab schedules. So if everything goes okay or well, then we might be able to get those rehabilitations done by the substantial completion date. I anticipate we're probably going to be completing that work sometime between substantial completion and final completion, as it currently stands. So there's also the matter of making sure that, there's plenty, the supply is adequate, because taking a well offline in the summer is not ideal. So we're going to have to be mindful of that as we move into the summer months here.
And that was going to be one of my questions. Do we want to make sure that we have all the parts they think they'll need to rehabilitate those wells before they pull the wells, so that way we don't get stuck with a well that's down for 6 months waiting for parts? Or
It's certainly a consideration with wells. It's always tricky because you don't know how the equipment looks until you pull it out
Right,
and you can
rebuild
inspect
it.
it. And you don't want to spend that kind of money to purchase something beforehand if you don't end up needing to use it.
Okay.
Worst case scenario, you pay for it and you can have it on the side. But there's complications because this is an IEPA loan project and getting reimbursed for that. So, that's certainly a consideration, and we'll do our best to forecast what we can about the equipment before it is pulled. There could be circumstances that arise that gives a better idea in the coming months
Okay.
what that equipment could potentially look like.
Okay.
That's my only concern with the equipment
Yeah,
delivery.
it's-
Because supply chain is obviously a big issue right now, but there was enough of a timeline and getting through submittals and ordering equipment early in the project where I think the contractor's in good shape.
Okay. Anybody else?
Like somebody
Yeah, I
had-
did.
Alderman Wolf, we have a question from Alderman Cerrone.
Go ahead, Nick.
Thank you, Anthony. Along the lines of the wells, you're in the process of inspecting the dualator. Is that pretty straightforward, or is there any risk that in that inspection you'll find something worse or unexpected?
Absolutely, there is that concern and risk. And because these dualators haven't effectively been inspected from the inside since they were constructed, as far as we can tell, that's like wells. There's unknowns when you get inside there. You pull the existing media and components out and you look inside. It's a steel tank that has been painted, and it was painted a long time ago. So it's almost similar to like an elevator water storage tank from that perspective, where there is going to be some level of corrosion that has occurred. We have, within the last couple of days, has been the best opportunity we've had to start inspecting the inside of the tanks. We have a handful of people who are very experienced in doing those inspections. Somebody from our staff who does elevator water storage tank inspections, so is used to inspecting steel tanks that have been painted, as well as a painting representative, as well as a contractor's representative. And we're going to take all those recommendations and look at them together and fit and chart out a game plan. But what I will say is we did anticipate some level of rehabilitation with the coating systems in the steel with those tanks in our bid. We do have unit prices. We did anticipate some costs that were built into the bid price to cover some of these contingencies.
And when will the inspection be done, or at least we'll know whether it falls within your expectations or not?
That's a good question. I would say that it gets complicated with the holidays coming up here too, but we're going to do our best to gather all the information within the next week or two and provide a recommendation to the city for how to move forward with it. And obviously, cost comes into play there too, with the unit prices that are set and the quantities that are identified for different types of repair to the steel. So we would anticipate by the beginning of 2022 that we would have the recommendations and conversations with the city.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Yep, very welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right, then moving on to item number 8, which is Resolution 21-117R, approval of an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Batavia and the Village of North Aurora to provide mutual aid assistance during a potable water system failure. Alderman Cerrone, do you have that?
I do. This is an agreement. We already have an intergovernmental agreement with North Aurora. This is going to add language for mutual aid assistance. Is Jeremy in the house?
I'm going to
To
cover it.
present this, or is it Gary?
Gary's got it.
Okay. Gary, do you want to give a little further? I'm not clear as to what the verbiage how that expands it exactly.
You already really kind of hit on the highlights, and that was we are adding language in here for mutual aid assistance. I can dive into the details if you want to, but essentially it says that in times of extreme emergency, we will provide water to North Aurora, or in turn, North Aurora will provide water to us. Taking one step back, we are now responsible for preparing an emergency response plan. That's a new mandate that's been put upon all water systems. And we've been working throughout 2021 to develop that plan. Engineering Enterprises has actually been helping us with that. And as part of the ERP process, we reviewed our current IGAs and our current agreements and identified the need to update this agreement with North Aurora. So that's really what prompted this. We do also have a connection agreement, a cross-connection agreement with Geneva. And at some point in the future, we may explore a cross-connection agreement to our northeast with West Chicago. Although, again, that's probably pretty far down the line, but that is a possibility. So, again, we can dive into the specific language if you would like.
No.
But in general terms, that's what this agreement does.
And I don't know if this is true or not. I'm just curious. Was this kind of, I mean, we would have up till now anyways, like on a handshake, but this makes it, codifies it or makes it a little more official?
Well, it's been codified since 2005. This is just updating the 2005 agreement to include more formal language. You're right. I mean, so I guess if that answers your question.
Right.
We always, as would North Aurora and as would Geneva. So if one community is stricken, we're going to help each other out.
Right. Good. That's all I had. Did anybody else have any questions or comments? Well, if not, I would make a motion to send to City Council recommendation for Resolution 21-117-R, execution of an intergovernmental agreement and mutual aid assistance between City of Batavia and Village of North Aurora to provide mutual aid assistance during potable water system failure.
Second, Miller.
Roll call, please.
Throne,
Aye.
Vogelsinger. Aye. Miller,
Aye.
Rosado,
Aye.
Beck, Connolly,
Aye.
Chancet,
Aye.
Sofa,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Barron, aye. Lehman,
Aye.
Ayazi,
Aye.
Malay, and Ewer. Motion carried 11-0.
Alderman?
All right. Yes.
Just because that topic is so interesting, I would like to say one more thing on it. Just like we're part of the Illinois Public Works Mutual Aid Network, in which case public works agencies provide mutual aid to each other for things like tornado response, we're also part of a network called ILWARN, and ILWARN is a network of water and wastewater agencies that, again, if something were to happen in another community, that needs, maybe they need a pump, or maybe they simply just need, a valve or a fitting or something. We all will help each other out, and that's a statewide organization. So just wanted to make you aware of that.
Okay. Thank you. All right, up next is item number 9, which is Ordinance 2175, approving amendments to the landmark designation procedures and nomination form. This is something that was reviewed by the Historic Preservation Commission over the last 2 months. This is in response to what we had discussed at our COW meeting a few times after we had the last nomination for the house on North Washington Avenue. So I think from what I read, the changes that we talked about, which I'll just highlight here, that and it's a clarification, and the application is not considered complete until consent from the property owner or proof that they have been notified of the application is received by the city. Clarification that photos are required of all sides of the building if they can be obtained without trespassing on the subject property. And if the city receives a written objection to the property owner or by the property owner regarding the designation, that it cannot be approved unless it's by a 2/3 majority vote of the council. So I don't know if anybody has any comments or questions, or if Scott, if you wanted to say anything else on this. I think it kind of came back with exactly the things we talked about that we wanted to have addressed.
Yeah, I have nothing else to add. That's kind of what we took from the discussion, and we codified that into the draft ordinance.
Okay. And I see, Dan, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, just really briefly, if anyone else has any experience with this, trying to notify a customer or an owner or something, the process is always very specific, at least in my industry. Is staff comfortable with the language regarding notifications? Obviously, I'm in favor of the resident involved being notified, but we're technically creating a loophole here where someone who doesn't want to participate in the process simply can avoid being served. I just want to make sure staff is comfortable with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a little bit more challenging than it was before. We can do this by, certified notice or, personal service. There's a number of ways we can do it. It's not really that much different than if we were serving somebody with a citation or something like that. So it'll make it a little more difficult, but I mean, we'll make it work.
2 aldermen show up at the door, and we can make sure that they get the notification.
Right. I mean, I got big shoulders. People tend to open the door for me.
Okay, Dan, we'll have you be our process server then.
Okay.
That's good.
Anybody else? Okay, if not, I'll make the motion that we recommend to council Ordinance 2175, approving amendments to the landmark designation procedures and nomination form.
Second.
Motion by Wolf, second by Solfa. Roll call, please.
Wolf,
Aye.
Barron,
Aye.
Lehman,
Aye.
Ayazi,
Aye.
Malay, Ewer, Saron,
Aye.
Vogelsinger,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Rosado,
Aye.
Beck, Connolly,
Aye.
Chanson,
Aye.
and Solfa.
Aye.
Motion carried 11-0.
All right, thank you. Up next is item 10, Ordinance 2176, vacation of Violet Lane, turnaround right away. This is in our ongoing, hopefully someday ending saga of properties that the city would like to have on the tax rolls and back to the public. This is the hammerheads that are at several of the streets out in Woodland Hills, and this is the next one.
Yes, this is probably the second to last one at this point. And there may always be other ones that pop up with finding that we have excess right of way in other places. But for the program that we're working on right now, this is the second to last one that we've got out there. So this is we've notified the property owners. They have received their certified notices. They have not heard any objections to the proposals. So we are moving forward with this situation.
Okay, and like the only cost is the preparing the plats and recordings. It's about $1,200 total on this one.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, does anybody have any questions or comments? Okay, if not, I will make the motion that we recommend to council Ordinance 2176, vacation of Violet Lane turnaround right away.
Second, Miller.
Motion by Wolf, second by Miller. Roll call, please.
Wolf,
Aye.
Barron,
Aye.
Lehman,
Aye.
Ayazi,
Aye.
Malay, Ewer, Saron,
Aye.
Vogelsinger,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Rosado,
Aye.
Beck, Connolly,
Aye.
Chanson,
Aye.
and Solfa.
Aye.
Motion carried 11-0.
All right, thank you. And finally, we have Resolution 21-115R, approving final plat of subdivision for Menard's Second Batavia re-subdivision. Scott?
This is the Menards re-subdivision. We approved this about a year ago, and the approval has since expired because they did not take ownership of the lot where the detention was. So we are redoing this subdivision, so there are no changes to the plat since the original approval. And we did get notification from them today that the land has been released out of escrow to be completed for the deed. Has not been recorded yet, but at least that's progress in the right direction. So hopefully by the time this gets approved by the city council next week, that'll be recorded and we'll be able to get the plat recorded as well shortly afterwards.
Okay, and do we want to approve this at the council level before they have that, just as in anticipation of that?
It's fine for us to do that, yeah, because they still have 90 days for us to record the plat, and I don't anticipate it's going to take that long to get the deed recorded now that it's been released out of escrow.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, I'll make the motion that we recommend to council Resolution 21-115R, approving final plat of subdivision for Menard's Second Batavia re-subdivision.
Second, Miller.
Motion by Wolf, second by Miller. Roll call, please.
Wolf,
Aye.
Barron,
Aye.
Lehman,
Aye.
Ayazi,
Aye.
Malay, Ewer, Saron,
Aye.
Vogelsinger,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Rosado,
Aye.
Beck, Connolly, Chanzit,
Aye.
and Silva.
Aye.
Motion carried 11-0.
All right, thank you. Up next would be project status. Is that going to be Anthony? Or?
Alderman Wolf, that would be me. Just a couple things just to address the meetings as we close out the year 2021. Our 2 CAL meetings on 12/21 and 12/28 have been canceled. We will have our city council meeting Monday, December 20th at 7:30 p.m. So our final meeting will be that city council meeting on Monday, December 20th at 7:30 p.m. CAL meetings have been canceled for the remaining of the year. And that will conclude the project status for today.
Okay. Get out of this easy the rest of this month. Okay, then next would be 13, others. Does anybody have any others? Alderman Miller?
I have one. It's just a reminder of people that are out walking their dogs, jogging. It's dark a lot sooner. If you can, wear some lighter colored clothing. If not, please have some sort of light on you or their dog so that you can help drivers see you crossing our streets.
Yeah, that's very surprising when all of a sudden somebody comes out and they have a large, dark-colored dog and they're all in dark-colored clothing,
A black
nothing
parka.
light on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a daughter who runs and she constantly has the striped outfit on, and then now she's got these two, I use them for earrings that they glow in the dark and flash, and you can see them. Thank you. Anybody else?
I do.
Your Honor?
Yeah, just for the interest of the education of the city council, there was a story that was published in the newspapers last week that the Kane County Health Department was going to shut down the vaccination location at Sam's Club in Batavia. I was asked to attend a meeting of the Kane County Board this morning, a committee meeting, and I went there to give a report to them about Pace Bus, which I'm the county's representative on the Pace Board. But I got there at 9 o'clock, and I didn't get to speak till after 12 because they spent 3 hours in debate about the Sam's Club and where it was and who gave the order, and the county board chairman was very upset because nobody had talked to her about this. She didn't know nothing about it till she read about it in the newspaper. So then they got into this long philosophical thing about what they could and could not do at the meeting today because it wasn't on a published agenda. They trying to make motions, and they had the state's attorney herself sitting there trying to decipher what it was they could and could not do. And at the end of the day, I guess what I gleaned from it was the majority of the county board was seemingly emphatically of the opinion that they were not about to close down Sam's Club as a shot vacation, or as a vaccination location, and that they would anticipate that that would be there for some months yet to come, given what seems to be the return of the whole situation here with the vaccinations and whatever have you. So if somebody asks you, why did they close it down, you can tell them right now, I think it's probably going to be in the paper tomorrow, that the county board has reconsidered. It was a committee meeting that made this decision, and somebody took it that this was the final word, and the county board was quite emphatic this morning that most of them weren't about to vote for that. So I think we can probably be rest assured that it's going to be sometime next year before that thing is really under serious consideration to be closed down. That being said, Sunday, we had the major part of the toy distribution drive done, and the Batavia Police Department was there with 3 officers, as they always are. Everything went phenomenally well. There was no problems. We had one person that had represented that they were there to collect toys because they had 14 kids living in a 2-bedroom apartment. And we got into that and decided there was no such situation going on. So we were there to challenge this person about this proposal, and the person made the decision not to show up. So hopefully that one's gone away. They were going to do another secondary distribution tonight. I attended the Batavia Women in Businesses Luncheon. I was late getting there. I was supposed to be the representative of the city for the chamber. I was at the end. Fortunately, I got there just within seconds of when they were going to start, so I got to be on the program. And they ended up giving a very, very nice donation to the toy drive today. And then I had another couple people stop by the office with what I would describe as very nice checks to the toy drive. So I know in the last couple of days they have collected well in excess of another $1,000, and people are still rolling in with this. So it is going extremely well. And I guess at the end of the day, everything I'm telling you is all kind of good news to Batavia. The vaccination location's not going away. The toy drive has been very successful. And so I think we can all be comfortable that we should wish each other a Merry Christmas, because it seems to be going okay these days. Good. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any others? If not, I'll ask for a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Motion by Selfa,
Second by Miller.
by Miller. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. Good night. See you next week, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Night.
Good night, everybody.
And I see we got